We probably won't show the road to Manavgat itself. Nothing interesting there. But when we get closer to all the beautiful sights, that's when... our story will begin. Let's go. Let's go. We made our first stop on the way. This is the Manavgat River, from which this huge reservoir was formed. This river was dammed higher up in the mountains. Moreover, there are not just one dam, but several, forming a cascade of large reservoirs and lakes. Well, if we talk about the Manavgat River, it would certainly be significantly fuller if it were not dammed. And it flows into the sea. Many have probably traveled and seen this river when being transported to the hotel. You cross it via a large bridge. The river near the sea has a small waterfall, which can also be visited as a separate excursion. In general, the river delta, near the sea and near the city of the same name, is also called Manavgat. This river delta is very fertile. The lands are very fertile, and a lot of agricultural products are grown there. And in general, this fertile land is the greatest asset essentially in this region, in the region of the city of Manavgat. Look how green the water is, right? I don't know if the camera captures it or not, but it is of course very shallow. Well, in principle, if you look at the high banks, you can probably understand that sometimes they release a bit of water from the dam, as often happens, and it probably fills up in a certain season. Friends, we have finally arrived at this very large dam, which resulted in the formation of the Green Canyon Reservoir Lake. I repeat, it is called Oimapinar. Sorry, I am stumbling, but it is quite difficult. Well, it's a grand structure. By the way, it was not built by the Turks, but by a German company over several years. This dam ranks significantly fifth in size in Turkey. The height of this structure that we see, the concrete one, is 185 meters. In general, it generates a very high power output, has 4 turbines, and each turbine produces 135 megawatts. Well, I'm certainly not an expert in engineering and exact sciences, but I guess that's a lot. And look, the Manavgat River, of course, is more full-flowing here. True, its color is a bit different. Well, it's great. With such rapids, it's just super. It makes such a noise. I don't know if you can hear it. Huge rapids. There's white foam below, and the river bursts out powerfully. By the way, the water temperature in this canyon, which we are about to ascend, is almost the same year-round. 11-12 degrees. But the daring ones somehow try to swim. To climb? Even higher behind the dam to the lake, we drive along a very narrow road among the bushes. It winds, and above us, look at the cliffs hanging over. Moreover, they are colorful. Apparently there is a lot of copper or iron. Reddish, yellowish. Some parts are completely bare. Some are covered with pines, and they really hang over. 5 minutes ago we were on that little bridge, and now look how small it looks in my hand, see? Beautiful, isn't it? The water is so turquoise. And the lush greenery. Friends, I am specifically drawing your attention now. Just look at how green everything is here. One of the reasons why the Green Canyon is called the Green Canyon is because it is surrounded by vast masses of bright, lush green vegetation. This is one of the reasons. But there is another one, now I will tell you. Friends, so, the moment of truth. Look, a tunnel, and beyond it, the green, very green water of the Green Canyon opens up. See, can you see it? I think it's visible. In contrast, it's dark here. And there it's a bright green turquoise color. We have arrived. So, here we are on this side of the dam, but you know, to our great regret, we are not allowed onto the observation deck. I don't know for what reason. We will just show you what it looks like from this side. The cliffs, which also overhang. You can't get close to the water here in this place, but that's natural. It's a protected structure. By the way, we'll show you now. The enterprising local residents have set up and established small tea houses here. In traditional style, their samovars come with their teapots. Right on the firewood, something is boiling and bubbling. You can have a snack and drink some tea. Honey and butter are sold here. But we won't stay here. We'll go further to the Green Canyon. You know, I want to point out that this road, which goes right along the entire lake, leads to the place where boat tours are organized, and where there is a small restaurant where you can relax. You know, it's quite extreme. First of all, it's not of very good quality. If you are planning to take an independent tour here, for example, make sure to get a vehicle that is more capable and higher. That's one. And then it is narrow, winding, and quite difficult to drive, but it is incredibly beautiful. I don't know, it comes to mind to say something like this. No matter how perfect technology is, let's be honest, ours is not perfect at all. But even the most perfect one is unlikely to convey what the human eye sees. You know, you have to see it with your own eyes. If you are in Turkey, you should include this trip as a must-do excursion because it is simply mesmerizing. Imagine a huge gorge above the turquoise water and among these sharp cliffs, with lush greenery all around. You don't know, here green competes with green, competing to see which greenery will be brighter. And the smell! Everything is in pines. By the way, a large number of junipers grow here. That is, they also add to the aroma. The place is absolutely gorgeous, truly gorgeous. So friends, we have arrived at the final point of our journey. We have already bought a ticket for the boat tour. It lasts an hour and costs $25 per person. While we are waiting, we will show you where you can have a good time here. Look, on this slope, right here in the shade, they have set up a very large restaurant right here. When tourists come here with an organized group, everything is already arranged for them, and they are fed here. They can enjoy a buffet. As for those who come on their own, they can buy something there for money. It's very cool here. It's just a place to spend time, sit, and relax. Look, the beautiful clusters of grapes are hanging down and ripe. Look, it should ripen if no one eats it during the maturation stage. Everything is well organized here. There are plenty of restrooms, and everything is perfectly clean. Last fall, when we were here, we also joined the buffet. I don't remember how much it costs now, but in lira, it's not very expensive. And we also had lunch here, spent some time on the shore. Now we'll show you up close. Everything here is quite well organized. Here are these tourists. They arrived as a group, and we will join them now.
As the seller of Lucky Tickets explained to us, let's go over there, to the very edge.
And let's take a look at the color of the water, just once. And in a calm setting, I will now tell you why it's called the Green Canyon. The second reason why it's called the Green Canyon. The first thing I mentioned was the vast expanses of green vegetation along the shores. And the first reason, the fact that the water contains a sufficient amount of iron impurities. For example, I was surprised. I thought iron impurities added that reddish color, but it turns out they make the water look like this. I don't even know how to describe this water. It's incredible. It's turquoise. Oh, camera, I hope you can capture the color of this water. Friends, we are getting settled on the boat. By the way, the boat has 2 decks. We are on the lower one, but you can be on the upper one. Look at how many life jackets there are. This indicates that our lives are not in danger. And below, as it turned out, there are changing cabins and toilets. And as we were told, it turns out that at the end of the walk, we will have a swim. This suggests that the water is not actually 12 degrees. We asked our neighbors how much their tour cost. They had an organized trip and paid $50. So it looks like we are setting off. Now let me tell you a bit about the reservoir itself. It is of course enormous, covering a total of 500 hectares, with a depth ranging from 100 to 240 meters. And it should be noted that this is actually a reservoir, which supplies fresh water to the entire Anatolian coast.
In our episodes, we covered everything about life in Turkey and traveling across the country, where it is warm almost year-round. Tall palm trees, fresh farm fruits and vegetables all year-round. If you decide to choose a place to live here, our company, Prime Invest, will be happy to help you find the best option where you will be happy to live. We are also developers and build beautiful villas with sea and mountain views. All contact details are in the description.
And its maximum length, I believe, is about 7 kilometers. And at the very beginning, when I said that the walk would only be 1 hour, I was mistaken. In fact, it takes about 2.5 hours. Additionally, there are, how to call them, probably channels maybe, in this reservoir. So basically, there are these narrow channels Not all of them are navigable for boats, but we will go into one of the channels, and visually we were promised that we will see one of the springs that feed this reservoir. And in total, there are 27 springs that supply it. So we also checked about fishing. In general, you can fish here, and the locals claim that there is a huge amount of trout, so you can come here to fish either with your own gear or rent it here. We saw the gear lying around, available for rent. That's about it. Oh, look, our guide just pointed it out. We will get closer. These are goats. These are real mountain goats, wild ones that live here. They, as he told us, come down here to the water to quench their thirst naturally. Real wild ones, look. Cool, right? And now we are heading to the spring, to one of the springs. We should get closer now. As I mentioned before, there are a total of 27 springs. They feed the entire canyon very intensively. Well, apart from the melting snow, of course, and now we have come closer. The quality might suffer a little, but in any case you will clearly see the force and power with which the water bursts out. And here is the promised swim. We were brought to a pontoon that is simply anchored in deep water. Look at how everyone is diving in with such pleasure. And you know, the water is definitely not cold because everyone is swimming with great enjoyment. The water here is so clean. I really hope we don't just ride around. It would be nice to swim as well. So keep that in mind if you go, and definitely bring a swimsuit. Friends, our little walk has come to an end. And you know, it makes me feel a bit sad. I would love to spend the whole day here. It's so wonderful. Well, if you shake it off a bit and don't be sad, I would also tell you the following. Look, the boat drops us off at a different place from where it picks us up for the walk. And the tour buses have already arrived here. Just keep this in mind. If you come on your own, you will need to ask the captain to take you to point A. Back to where you started from. Well, that's exactly what we did. And as a farewell, here's one last look at all this beauty, all this greenery. Enjoy